Going on, everyone? This is End Time. You are back at Drama Free Gaming. It is what it says, and it says what it is. Hopefully, you're having a wonderful, amazing, outstanding week. If you're not, you're in the right place just to come and chill and just to hear my thoughts as to what's happening in gaming that I personally feel is worthwhile listening to and paying attention to. That being Monster Hunter Wilds. I'm a big fan. As a matter of fact, it's probably an understatement. Since I got introduced to Monster Hunter franchise, the series, through Monster Hunter World, and shout out to Dark Dad as always, who sometimes pops in and is my co-host, my brother from another mother. He's the one that put me on to Monster Hunter World. Eventually went on to playing Iceborne and put over 1,000 hours in. And like I've said before, didn't really finish all the content, but I still go back from time to time and play it. And still have an amazing time. Went on to Rise and now looking forward to Monster Hunter Wilds. And what I want to share about Monster Hunter Wilds is the trailer dropped. If you haven't seen it, I would recommend for you to go over to YouTube and catch the official trailer, put that on that 4K or whatever resolution best suits you, and check out the trailer. There's a lot going on there. I'm probably going to play it here in a moment. It's about 4 minutes long. But just wanted to put my 2 cents in there before we look at the trailer. And that is a lot of people, again, still making a lot of comments. Now, you got to understand there's going to be people that are going to be fans and they're going to defend the game and the series no matter what, no matter how it runs, what it looks like, they're going to defend it. And one thing that I realized about Monster Hunter, period, whether it's one of the older games or even the series that we are getting ready here to play now, it's all about that gameplay. Yes, it's nice that a game looks good, but another thing is, and I think primarily is gameplay. If the gameplay is catchy, if that game loop is addictive and done right, it keeps you in the game. It keeps you engaged. It keeps you playing. And that could be said of some of these live service games that this generation of gamers goes back to time and time and time again. I'm talking about the Fortnites. I'm talking about the Call of Duty, year after year after year. You literally are purchasing the same game with a couple of tweaks here and there, but it's the gameplay that keeps you engaged. You'll see behind me, I'm running Mario Kart 8, and it's running on the Wii U. I don't know if you can see it in the video, the little tablet down there. Now, the Wii U didn't get a lot of love. I actually like the Wii U. I like it because it had a couple of great games on it that I'm glad got ported over to the Switch. But also the Wii U, I think, was ahead of its time. It was kind of like a prototype to what the Switch would eventually be, and what we have right now. But that Mario Kart 8 actually was on the Wii, and the Wii U, as you guys know, and if you don't know now, you do, is backwards compatible, so you can play your Wii games on it. That's the reason why I picked up a Wii U as well, rather than getting a Wii, so I can play some of the Wii games that I have. But that Mario Kart 8 is the Wii U version, and we also got it on the Switch, and a great game, right? And I'm excited. I know I'm shifting gears here. I haven't forgot about Monster Hunter. We're gonna come back to Monster Hunter, but that Switch too. I keep telling myself I'm not gonna pick it up day one. I'm thinking that the price is gonna be $399.99, probably around $450 with a pack-in title. And that pack-in title, I think is gonna be a no-brainer. If you guys saw the the reveal in February, kind of the announcement, not like an official reveal. Well, official. Nintendo put it out, a 2 minute, 22-second video on February 2nd. You'll notice that the game they showed there towards the end was that Mario Kart, what people believe and are already calling a Mario Kart 9. And yeah, why not, right? Mario Kart 8 is still a system seller to this day. It pushed a Wii, it pushed Wii U, and it pushed the Switch. And it still sells. And it's still a fun game. And a Mario Kart 9, excuse me, would be great. Would definitely be a no-brainer for Nintendo to push that Switch too. But my only thought on it, guys, as a consumer and as a gamer, is you know, that screen. I got the OLED screen on the Switch, and I love that screen. And so I don't know. It's gonna be hard holding out if the new Switch 2 drops with Mario Kart 9 or whatever they call it. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be difficult because I definitely would want to play that Mario Kart 9. But then again, do I hold out for the OLED? Anyways, you guys let me know where you're at. If there's any Nintendo Switch fans out there, and you're looking forward to the Switch 2, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna hold out and see if Nintendo in a year or more, possibly, I don't even remember how much time passed between the Switch and the Switch OLED. I don't know if it was a year or two before Nintendo pulled the trigger and dropped the OLED screen. But anyways, let me know what are you gonna do? Are you gonna hold out for the OLED, or is a release of Mario Kart 9 and who knows what else? I'm just saying Mario Kart 9 because I think it's the no-brainer for a pack-in title. But maybe something else drops that you're gonna say, you know what, I can't wait. I got to jump on this. And you just pull the trigger on it. So let me know in the comments. And that's that for Nintendo. But going back to Monster Hunter, people again are going to depending on what side of the fence they're on and blah blah blah, how engaged they are, how much history they have with the game. They're going to defend it or they're going to nitpick it to death. And all I'm going to say is just play the game when it comes out. Play it, see how it looks, see how it vibes, see if it engages you. I'm not one. I'm going to be playing it on PC. So I'm not going to be waiting in a line for, some sort of midnight release, although those were cool back in the days. But since I'm picking it up digital, on Steam, it's for me, it's gonna be the hit of a button, wait for it to download and go through all those shenanigans and whatnot. But I'm gonna be playing it on my PC. And like I said before, I have a 4080 Gen 13 i9 CPU. So I'm gonna be all right. I'm not playing at 4K. I'm not gonna be trying to play 120 frames, I'm gonna be good. If it hovers above 60, like give me 70, give me 80, give me 90 at 140p, 140 1440p. I'm good. I'm good with that. But I'm here for the game. I'm here to play the game and the mechanics of the game and the systems of the game. And if you've never played Monster Hunter at all, this is a great time and a great place to jump into Monster Hunter. Because things have been streamlined. Wild is going to bring a lot of quality to life features that we saw in World. And I experienced going back to Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate and realized, oh, dang, okay, there were some changes. And I'm sure if I would have went back further, that I would have seen all the current changes, all these quality of life changes to the game, which again, There's going to be people that are going to argue that, oh, it was better in the old days. I'm not going to knock them because I wasn't there. Just like I talk about retro games, you know, there's retro games that I will stand by and say, hey, it don't get better than this. I don't care what they put out now. I don't care what's modern now. This is it. This is the game. And so, you know, to each their own, we all have our opinions and whatnot, but I want to share the see if I can share my screen here and see if I can find this Monster Hunter. Here it goes. Can I get it on an entire screen? All right, let's see if this works. All right. Pop it up. Oh, I'm cut out. Where am I? Let me move my camera. Here we go. If it stands still. Okay. Let's see what this looks like. Take note of all the different monsters that you and I are going to be battling. I'm going to be honest, when I saw this trailer and I saw the monsters here announced, I think maybe 95% of them I'm clueless. Like I don't have any idea regarding these monsters. Sorry about that. People talking about the game looks washed out. I think it's the art style, to be honest with you. I mean, they might have a reason why, you know, it's washed out and whatnot. I don't know. I don't see it. I just think the art style is, you know, it looks like that painted type art style, like when you do like an oil painting and whatnot. At least when I look at the cut scenes, and I can tell you what though, it looks way better than World. It's giving me that World feel, but heightened, if that makes sense. And World was a pretty game, man. World, I like World better than Rise because it grounds the game in like reality. Even though we know none of this is reality, right? But you know, it just feels like a real, like it could be a real world. Whereas Rise was more of that the aesthetics was more, I don't want to say anime, but for lack of a better word, more cartoonish. But I love the style as well, man. It's two unique styles. Now I don't know if anybody watching this, if you was looking for any uh preview of your weapon of choice being used. I'm a glaive main, but throughout the whole beta, I've been on that hammer. I've been using hammer. I messed around with sword and shield, and even the gun lance. And I think I tried the horn for like a hot minute. So they're bringing over Mitsutsune from Rise. Okay, that I recognize that monster from Rise. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing here. And of course, all of these pre-order bonuses if you get it, um, and all that good stuff. Hey, if you wanna go all in and get that premium deluxe edition, I don't think you're gonna regret it. The cosmetics is cool. Um, I think I'm just gonna pick up the base game only because that's what I could afford. And if I want some of the other stuff, I get it later on. That's cool. Um, but yeah, go back, watch the trailer. I know other YouTubers, influencers, people who built their channel on this game and this game alone, um, have more quote in-depth uh explanations of the game. And I've watched it. Rurikon is one who I like to tune into, and he has a video up, so go check him out. He breaks down the trailer, and he's one who's gone over to play. Capcom has invited him over to play an actual, like, the actual game, and I think he played it for like 5 hours and whatnot, and he made like a 2 hour plus video. So look him up, Rurikon. I like watching him, and there's others on here, but enough of that. Hopefully, you guys will get an opportunity to play Monster Hunter Wilds. I think we are today on the 13th, if I'm not mistaken, of February is the second beta. So from today, I believe, if not today, because today's Thursday the 13th, if not today, from tomorrow, Friday, all the way up until Monday. So you're gonna have a couple of days to jump on, whether you're on Xbox, PlayStation, or of course on PC, on Steam. You'll be able to play. And if you play your game on there, if you do decide to pick it up on whichever platform you do, then you get like a little charm, just as a token of gratitude, appreciation, I guess, from Capcom, that you played in the beta. And of course, they're still wanting feedback. And let me tell you, that's the great thing about Capcom and the Monster Hunter franchise. They definitely listen to the community, and they listen to that feedback, and they respond. And sometimes they respond with actually making tweaks and changes to the game. I know that with the Insect Glaive, there was a time that the Insect Glaive community was just like, man, you took away our helicopter aerial, combat move, which made Glaive what it is. It made it fun. And it wasn't gonna be in the new Monster Hunter Wilds. Capcom listened and they brought it back. So I think that's dope, man. Whenever you see just a publisher, a company, a developer, listening to the community, responding. They didn't have to put it back. And they could have just put out an announcement and said, hey, it's not part of like the mechanics and what we have for the game. But, if they would have said that, that would have been cool. It's all right. Changes come. That's the only thing constant in life, right? Change. But in this case, they put it back in. They said it would be in there, and I can't wait. I can't wait. I think I'm going to be maining the glaive and the hammer so far. So far. I like the gunlands. I started messing with the gunlands in Rise, and in Wilds. I'm thinking, how beneficial would it be, especially when there's the possibility of you can actually block, and it will trigger one of those what they call it, one of those moments where you're just like mashing a button because you successfully blocked. I forgot what it's called. It was big in God of War, back in the old school God of War game. So, and even in Gears of War too, where you would clash the two chainsaws, and you would just mash that button, and then you overpower your enemy and slice him in half or chop him up in half or whatnot. Anyways, live action or live time action or whatever. Anyways, I'm excited, guys. I'm just excited. I'm here ranting. If you guys have been with me up until this point, hopefully you guys will continue to have a great day. Keep you tuned in to gaming as I see it. I got some other stuff to talk about, but I'm not going to put it here because I don't want this video to be too long. But for any of you retro heads, maybe when I jump on the next time, we'll talk a little bit about these quarter size arcades that Numbskull, the company's called Numbskull, is putting out. I just came across a video yesterday on a quarter size replica of Burger Time, and those things look dope. they look dope, man. Another thing to collect, right? I'm not gonna try to go down that rabbit hole because even though they're quarter size units, cabinets, like arcade cabinets, and fully playable, they have the arcade emulator in them. They still run like $250. And I mean, you want quality, you want that nostalgia, you want the legit thing, the real thing. It's gonna cost. And if it's in your budget and you can do it and that's your thing, go for it. But as you guys can see, I got my cabinet back there. So I'll keep playing my Atari games and my arcade games up on that. But I'll talk about it and probably like show you guys a video of what I saw and put you on to that. But anyways, if you made it this far, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for being here. I'm gonna switch gears and leave you with a couple of words of inspiration and encouragement. So if that's your thing and you want to listen in, great. If not, be good and I'll catch you on the next one. For those of you guys that stayed with me, I want to share with you something I came across. It came across my mind this morning, even as I was going to jump on here, and I wanted to leave it with you. It's in the book of Corinthians, 1 Corinthians to be exact, chapter 13. And I'm reading from the English Standard Version. In verse 11 and verse 12, it says, "When I was a child, I spoke like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I gave up childish ways." And actually, I only read 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 11. So I'm going to read that again. It says, "When I was a child, I spoke like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I gave up childish ways." And the thought that came to my mind, guys, was simply this. I've been a gamer since the Atari days. I had an Atari 2600. I had a ColecoVision. I borrowed my cousin's 7800. I've gamed. Playing pole position back in the days, playing that terrible Pac-Man game back in the days. I even played ET, which was horrible. I played a lot of these games, and I enjoyed my childhood. And my childhood, in my childhood, I had a lot of gaming. Now, I come from a time, I'm a dinosaur, where kids would go outside. We would go outside. We would play wiffle ball. We would play stoop ball in front of our building. We would play, hot peas and butter. We would play cops and robbers. We would do all these things. Kick the can. As we grew up, we would play street hockey. All these things, man. We had a great time, and we would go outside every single day in the summertime. When school was out, we were outside. We were outside from sunrise to just before sunset, because your parent would stick their neck out the window and would be like, "It's time to come up." And you best make sure you come up before them lights went down, because if not, you know what was waiting for you at home. But a part of that was also going to each other's homes, and for me it was apartments. We would go to each other's apartments, and some of us had certain systems. I remember a neighbor of ours downstairs on the first floor. He had a Super Nintendo, and somebody else would have a TurboGrafx 16, and somebody else had a Sega Genesis, and so on and so forth. And so we played, man. We played a lot, and those were the days. Our childhood was well rounded. We went outside, we got some sun, we learned how to interact with one another. Played tag football in the parking lot. Man, lots of memories. And we would get into it, man. We would be playing like if it was like life and death. We would get in each other's faces as well, argue, get into fights and the whole 9 yards. But you know what? We always came back together, and our childhood was great. Lots of fun. And video games definitely was a big part of that, and that spilled over into my life and continued on even after I had my family and raised my kids. Not as much gaming as I had time to do, because I didn't have no time. You going to work. In my case, it was seasons that I went to work, went to school at night, just trying to hold it down. And every generation, guys, has their own memories, has their own ups and downs, has their own challenges. But I wanted to reflect on the childhood for a moment, because as OG gamers, as gamers in general, we ain't got to be ashamed about loving video games and enjoying this media, and wanting to play, old and new. I've shared with you guys here. I spend a lot of time now in VR, and just got the Catwalk VR uh, 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 treadmill thing. It's not a treadmill, but it puts me in the game, and the level of immersion is so much greater. And No Man's Sky is definitely my favorite game in that realm. But I say all of this and tie it to the scripture today, to encourage you that what the text is saying is, I'm not putting away childish things in the sense of put away the games. No, it ain't saying that. It's saying he put away childish when he became a grown man, when he became an adult, he put away childish ways. And there's a difference. We play our games and we purchase our games, but we know that that's not our priority. It shouldn't be your priority. It's not my priority. And that's really what I base this channel. And I'm fortunate that we live in a country and we have a medium where we could create a channel and just blab. And whether there's always going to be somebody who's going to listen. There's always going to be somebody who's going to tune in. There's always going to be somebody that you're going to appeal to. And so, is that the reason why I do it? I do it first for myself, to be honest. It's just an outlet for me. It's just a way for me to share these thoughts, to share about gaming, and this wonderful, medium that from my childhood I've enjoyed and still continue now in my 50. I just turned 50 last year, as a matter of fact, and I still enjoy it. And I still engage with it. But the way that I go about my life, I've put away childish ways. My thinking, I don't think like a child no more. It's been a long time. And you have to do the same. Um, you can't use gaming, like I've said it in the past, because you could, but you shouldn't. Gaming is supposed to be fun. Gaming, in a sense, we can use it to escape the real world, but the real world ain't going anywhere. And you know, gaming could take you through a dark time in your life. It can take you through a difficult time in your life, or maybe nothing really is going on and you're just having fun, and gaming is just a part of that season. But you know, we are to put away childish ways. I remember now, as I'm talking to you guys, back in the days when Toys R Us, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. But Toys R Us was this big toy store, and they sold everything, you know, or at least it seemed like they sold every type of game, and they sold video games and board games and figurines and all this other stuff. But their commercials was always, their slogan was, I want to be a Toys R Us kid. And part of that was, the preface of that was, I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. And we can't refuse to grow up. You know why? Because it's inevitable. You ain't going to be a kid all your life. You're going to become an adult, whether you like it or not. Now, whether you carry yourself as an adult, as a grown man or woman, well, that's going to be up to you. And the thing is if you don't, and you have others dependent on you, at the end of the day, you ain't got nobody to blame but yourself. When you put away childish ways, it means that your priorities change. It means that now there's things that are more important than gaming. Yeah, and I said it. There's things that are more important than gaming. But in order for gaming to continue to be a part of your life, you got to take care of your business. You got to take care of your priorities. And so I just want to encourage you, if you're struggling with work, with you know, with your career, with a relationship, you know, sit down, take a moment, uh, you know, do the inventory, get it out on paper, and write stuff out, and say, hey, why is this happening? You know, and be honest. And most of the time, I'm going to say, in my own experience, is because my priorities were not in the right place. If I want to get from point A to point B, if I want to accomplish anything, whether that is in my personal life, in my professional life, in my financial life, I got to sit down literally, and I literally got to put it on paper, and I got to get to work. I got to get a plan out and be persistent and be consistent in what I'm doing, you know, and intentionality. And it's a little every day. You're not going to change things overnight. You don't get into the situation that you're in right now overnight. It was a progressive slide downward, right? So to climb back up that hill, you have to take one step after the other. And what I'm telling you is, what End Time's telling you, what I'm telling you here, guys, is I'm with you. I'm climbing. I'm climbing. I purpose that, you know, the beginning of this year with my wife, and with where I'm at, you know, in my finances, and you know, we sat down, we came into agreement, we prayed, and we said, look, this is the best that we can do with what we got and where we're at. And you know, we did the cuts in our budget and all this other stuff, and we said, hey, we're gonna hold to this until a greater door of opportunity opens. And guess what happened, guys? That door opened. And because we were ready, and we were purposeful, intentional, and serious about what we were doing, and in agreement, I was able to walk through that door. We were able to walk through that door. And so, you know, I'm in a different place in my life now professionally, and I'm just thankful. I thank God every day for the opportunity, for the blessing, and I'm thankful that I'm able again to get on here to share with you whatever it's worth. I think it's worth a whole lot that you, as a young man or maybe as a young woman, are listening to these words, because you know, maybe you don't have nobody to speak into your life, but I'm one that I would love to speak into your life. I ain't perfect. I don't got this figured out. I'm trying to make it day by day, just like you, but I do it with joy. I do it knowing that um I have a final destination that I'm clear of. And I would love you to be in the same position and situation where, you know, you see the light at the end of the tunnel and you do have hope for tomorrow and the next day and the next day. And you can be assured that you are not alone. So, guys, thank you. I appreciate you lending an ear to hear. I'll be back at another time. But until then, as we say around here, be good, do good, and as always, keep your gaming and your life drama free. I'll catch you on the next one. God bless.